are watching Well-Traveled Life, and thank you for being here. I'm Jennifer, and I have Daniel Edward with me today.
With advanced degrees in politics, sociology, and psychology from Cambridge University, Daniel also has a website and YouTube channel called Psychology Unlocked, with over 1 million views and 16,000 subscribers, where he presents psychology lessons used in textbooks recommended by professors and loved by students everywhere. The lessons are quick, they're easy and fun to watch. We encourage you to visit his website or his YouTube channel. But today he's going to talk a little bit about the psychology of travel, or travel psychology.
Daniel is a fellow traveler, but not just a traveler, he is a travel writer. He is also the cruise and travel director on the Noordam for a significant portion of our trip through Australia and New Zealand. His travel writing, which is in London for the
City AM paper and World of Cruising magazine.
In his younger years, teachers questioned his appropriate placement for university. So we begin our discussion talking about intelligence.
If you're speaking to a world of young people, what is the lesson you learned and what would you be telling them?
So yeah, the big thing that I think to set this one up is intelligence is many things. People think of it as one thing. Are you book smart? That's one form of intelligence, but you've got so many other forms of intelligence, whether it's being able to use your body in a way, like a dancer has to know their body so much more than I know mine, and there's intelligence in that. There's nutrition and knowledge that goes into that to keep the body maintained. There's the exercise, and footballers as well. People often insult footballers saying that they don't have a brain. Well, actually, often these people are working in a foreign country using a language that isn't their own to train with people across cultures, and then immediately after a match, they're brought off the pitch in front of a camera and asked about something that happened in the 22nd minute and why did that happen there, and they can answer you straight away, well, I did this and this person did that and that's why this happened. So there's intelligence there, and people will throw insults at them willy-nilly without worrying. So my big thing on intelligence and achieving things is that anybody can achieve anything so long as they take the amount of time that they need to get there. And different people have different pathways to get somewhere. For somebody, it's going to be a more natural fit, and so they're going to get there quicker. For some people, it's going to be a little bit out of their zone right now, so it's going to take them longer. Some people have a better support network to get you there, so it's going to be quicker. Some people need to make that support network, so they've already got some additional steps in the chain before they can get there. And I think it's a lot more about the effort you put in and the attitude that you keep whilst you're getting there than what you started out with. That's what I try and remind myself.
You had talked to me about your YouTube channel and that you are doing some short lessons in psychology, which you're trained in. You have a real interest in travel psychology. And I am wondering, for your lessons, what are you trying to teach people? What do you want them to know?
So psychology is an amazing subject. That's the first thing I have to say with psychology. I think it's fascinating. It's people, and this comes back to what I like about travel writing. It's people. What I like about travel, it's people. Everything I do centers around people, and so the opportunity to study psychology and learn more about people was a treat. And I had the opportunity to study in the most amazing place, and
you can go ahead and shout it out if you want.
It's so un-British. But yeah, so I studied at Cambridge in the UK, and it was such an honour to be able to study there. I did say to my family at the time, I was like, I've lived in the best place I'll ever live in my life, and I was 19, in a 13th century castle.
Yeah.
But what I realised when I graduated, and then I went into journalism, and then I ended up working on cruise ships, I realised, gosh, I've had this world-class education, and if I don't keep going, what was the point? And I knew I didn't want to be a psychologist in terms of a clinical psychologist, but I also knew that there were plenty of opportunities in the future where I might want to practice psychology in a non-clinical sense, and so I didn't want to let it go. I also realised that some people find it a very challenging subject. It really connected with me, and so I was able to pick up concepts and then use those concepts to challenge other concepts, and that's how my brain works. I love it. Whereas with sociology, which was another part of my degree, they always told me off. Every essay I got sent back, you're writing it like a psychologist. This is a sociology essay. And I'd say, yeah, but was it a good essay? And they didn't. They're like, well, give it to them and they might like it. It's not what we've asked you for. So I wanted to start this psychology channel for me to continue learning, and for other students of psychology to give them a leg up. Because the purpose of the channel is to break down complex ideas and concepts and research into something which is easily digestible, and then you can use that building block to get you to the next one. And it's been a great project. I love making those videos.
I really am fascinated with the idea of travel psychology. I think you're onto something.
There's an area in psychology called occupational psychology. Makes people a lot of money. It's all about how can you design your workplace in terms of space and people and cultures and all those sorts of things to make more money, because you're making people more productive by making people happy and all those other ideas. So I got interested in that at one point. And then I sort of veered off and I looked into an area called environmental psychology. It's all about the designed space. How do people engage with the spaces around them? How does architecture make people feel? How can, essentially, if you think about architecture, if you walk into a cathedral that was designed in 14 something, you are communicating in a very physical way in your body. You're communicating with an architect who died almost 1,000 years ago, and they're still talking to you through their work. And when you listen to music, there's been research done that our brains sync. So if a musician plays a piece and they have their brain being scanned, then somebody listens to that piece with their brain being scanned, different time, different place, but their brains mimic each other. So we're connecting over these spaces. And then I thought, through my personal experiences with travel, well, we're doing that all over the world. We think we're so far from people, and yet when we get there, we realize we're so close to them. And our minds work differently when we're somewhere else. Yeah. Things that I would say no to sitting at home in London, I say yes to without a second thought somewhere else. And I thought, that's weird. The place I'm in is having an impact on me, but it's not the place itself, because somebody else sitting in that place who lives there is having the reaction that I have when I'm sitting in London. So it's something about me being on holiday or on travels or whatever word you want to use. And so there's an area in that which hasn't really been deeply looked into that I want to unpack and explore a bit more.
But those people who do that, we know there is a reason we travel. It changes us and it opens us, and it's a very hard thing to replicate at home. Yeah. It's hard to find something new, something that challenges us.
And I think travel gives us our childhood back, in a way. We don't know what's around the corner, so we're excited to find out.
It's a willingness to talk to people in a way you may not talk to them at home.
Yeah. Think about holiday flings and crushes and things like that.
It's so easy to go to the cliches about journeys.
But we are different because of the places we go and the people that we meet and the experiences that we have when we travel and expand our world.
Daniel, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
There's so much more to explore with Daniel. Watch our other videos about travel writing, about being a cruise and travel director and the changes that Holland America has made in that role, and about Daniel's personal life, which is an awful lot of fun.